In a world of shiny helmets, spandex jumpsuits, and strange monsters, these heroes force feed you a bowl of awesome that is the Tokudon Podcast. Join Carl and Rob as they haphazardly welcome you to the exciting genre of Tokusatsu. Now, open wide.
Turn that down. Alrighty, so today we are talking about not another anniversary movie, Kamen Rider Beyond Generations.
Beyond
the video game, the movie, the video game. I don't know.
This was like Tyson, like the Super Tyson movie that we were never gonna get again.
Yeah,
this was great.
It was something. But before we get into that, what have you been up to since we haven't convened in a little while?
Well, I have joined the elite ranks of the many people who have beaten Elden Ring thousands of times already.
Okay. So you finally finished it. You had credits.
Yeah, I finally finished my first playthrough.
Okay.
As many strats and guides as there are, like, what's the best way to not, be offed in 3 hits by Malekith?
Yep.
I'm like, God, I don't want to sit there and spec my character like 67 times just to win.
Well, you do what you got to do for the W. Don't judge us, the ones who have.
Right, and that's my point. It's like I had 13 level tiers before I decided to try it.
Yes, same.
But I was like, okay. So I did it once, and I spec'd into Dex and Faith, and I tried all kind of like spellcasting is it's sick.
Yep.
But I realized that this is fun. But in the heat of a battle, especially PvP, I'm not focused on shoving a lightning bolt up your ass.
I am.
Like, yeah, that's fine. So I'm like, okay, I need to do that better for me. What do I do best? I like to set things on fire.
There you go.
And yeah,
particularly other than red and orange typed fires.
Right. The blood flame became my favorite thing.
The blood flame is fucking cool.
And so I spec'd everything around blood flame. So I just ended up with an arcane strength dex.
Fair.
That's it. And by the end, and I remember we were talking, what was it, like a week ago, and Horlu was just like picking his teeth with me. You know what I mean? Like, it was just like, it was frustrating because I knew I could get around it. So I'm like, all right, fuck all the guides, go with your gut. Flame of the Red Mains is a godsend of all the Ashes of War in this game for me. Flame of the Red Mains got me through everything, bro.
That's the one where you kind of throw out like an arc and then you cut through it, right? It's just an
arc of flame. That's all it is. It's just that pop. Once I get that first burn and I unleash the blood flame. Okay. So I'll do I had the Nagakiba and the Uchi mix. So I would seppuku with the Nagakiba. Pop that once you would bleed.
Oh, you went to seppuku. I see. Yes. You went try hard. Okay.
I did the seppuku blood flame.
That's how you won. I see.
Yeah. And it melted just everybody else was.
That's why everyone does it.
I was like, I get it now, but that is my natural build. So I'm like, I get it now. It makes sense.
I think I talked about it back when I finished it, but I eventually settled on my natural build of Punchcaster, which everyone in every forum you read goes, don't do that. Don't do that. But you know what? I'm a stubborn motherfucker who likes to punch things, so I did that.
But it's fun because I got punched a couple times in PvP. I'm like, that's angry.
It's angry.
A lot of people like to Kestis thing. That's.
I use the star fists, which are the morning stars on your hands.
You bleeding fuck.
Yeah. I don't even have arcane anymore, and it still pops like crazy.
It's sexy.
Yeah, it's wild. But I am glad you finally hit credits. That's for anyone who doesn't enjoy Elden talk. That means it'll probably taper a little bit. But Elden Ring's fucking amazing. So
Elden Ring got me back into gaming because just what we were just doing right now. I was popping in the old 360 and I have Dark Souls 1 on here, and I'm like, oh yeah, let me just try this. I forgot that I had this, and now all that Elden Ring is like, this is okay. This is amazing. Where we've come. This is amazing where we've come from.
It's like going back and seeing like, you know, the anime that got all the money and then its first season that had zero money kind of thing.
It's like, but it's not. It's also kind of like, okay, this is home again. You know, like, all right, this is from.
There's a reason why this game is still played to this day, 15 years later or whatever it is.
Yeah. And I just got snubbed by the fucking bell gargoyles again. Like, old times. Like old times.
Oh my goodness. Ridiculous.
So yeah. Other than that, and catching up on Revice, mostly, I think I still have like 3 episodes to catch up on, but I actually tried to catch up on Dawn Brothers, bro. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I literally, both of them, I have not touched since we talked about them. So Revice, you know, we ended on, what was it, 32 or something like that?
Yes, 30.
Somewhere around there, 31, 32. Yeah, I haven't touched Dawn Brothers since episode 3. So we'll talk about the new 6th Ranger though today. It's in the news. So
done deal. That's pretty much all I took away from everything. It's just like I see.
Yeah, so
it's fun.
We got some stuff in the news. But myself, I wanted to talk about a little ditty that does have something to do with today's topic, and that is Street Fighter 6. And you guys are probably like, God damn it, Carl, and your goddamn fighting games. You gotta.
I'll give it to you.
But the reason is because we are finally traveling through time. It is confirmed Street Fighter 6 takes place after Street Fighter 3. This is the first game in the series that is taking place after since Street Fighter 3.
But is it currently present time, or is it still like technically 20 years ago?
No, it's pretty modern. It's Metro City, so we're going back to the final fight. We're going back to Metro City, and
Atrocity.
So it's in the trailer. If anyone has seen it, there's a whole bunch of match footage out now. They held an event where a bunch of content creators were able to check out matches. We have old sage Hot Ryu as his default costume now.
He's looking every bit as badass as he should. I think they kind of touched it. The previous one, they were getting close with the
so they had like his like pre-order costume was like Hot Ryu with the beard and no shirt. Now that's just his default. He's got a beard, and then he's got the sash, very reminiscent of Oro and Goken, his masters.
He's absolutely going down Goken. If he goes Oro, like imagine he just decides one day he's like, no more Hado. I am not going to use my.
Well, Street Fighter 3 actually ends with him training with Oro. Yeah, so he's learned from Oro a little bit at this point. So that's how he gets some of these.
So
new
he's
moves.
not just a Goken replacement.
He's still Ryu, but he has more tools that kind of share between the two of them. He has more like kind of ridiculous Oro things, not quite the like telekinesis balls and all that kind of stuff, but he's got some new stuff to keep it fresh. And yes, Peacemaker's mentioning that it has a very urban feel. They're going back to the hip hop. They're going back to actually having a personality in their goddamn game. I am so excited because Street Fighter 4 came out. It's very ink pops. It's graffiti. It's very urban, urban hip hop, and that's awesome. That was Street Fighter 3. That was that kind of thing. But it really, Street Fighter 5 doesn't have a personality to me. It's like diet Street Fighter 4. Like they didn't go hard enough in any one direction to really have like a personality, and that's kind of what bugs me about it. But this is looking to be absolutely beautiful. In the trailer, they showed off Ryu, Chun, the new character Luke, who was the last of the DLC in Street Fighter 5, and then they also showed off Jamie, who's a brand new character who uses Drunken Fist and is a fanboy of Yun and Yang.
So wait, seriously? Canonically,
canonically, he wants to be like Yun and Yang when he grows up.
I always wanted to be like Yun and Yang.
Right? That's what I'm saying. But he's got Drunken Fist now.
Badass? Like, come the fuck on.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, like, when Yun was selectable in Capcom vs. King 2, I remember he wasn't my style, but Alex played him. And I'm like, yo, he's just like, because I thought it was Troa in a hat. I was like that. I was convinced that
pretty much
they just put Troa Barton in the fighting game
because Yang is literally just Troa Barton.
That's exactly. But watching him fight and then knowing that he was a skateboarder with the legit martial arts, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't just like he wasn't flashy or doing Hadoukens and shit. It was legit. And I'm watching the trailer now.
Yang uses praying mantis, I believe. Mantis style.
Ooh.
And then
I
believe that's what it is, and I forget what Yang uses. I think it's just like Northern Fist or something like that. But this new character Jamie, he uses Drunken Fist. He has an actual drink mechanic where the more drinks he gets, the more moves it unlocks. And when he hits 4, his hair comes down Nikali style, and he is apparently a full problem.
So does he have the Hado?
No. So Jamie doesn't have any of the Hado stuff. That's not his shtick. But the drink is not alcohol. It's key unlocking liquid. It's a key unlocking serum.
I see. Right.
Yes. As most do. And when he hits 4 and his hair comes out, he totally turns red because it's not alcohol. So
my key unlocking
serum
gourd is filled with Tito's.
Yep.
Yeah, I get it.
Yep. It's that kind of deal. But the matches, the intro, the menus themselves, like the UI looks so damn good. Everything about this game just looks so damn good. This is our first true next gen fighter. Like Guilty Gear always kind of comes at the tail end of a generation. That was kind of like a split between PS4 and PS5. This is our first true next gen fighter, and this is the first time in like 6 years that I'm excited for Street Fighter.
You said one of our guys, we follow, Max. You said he did a coverage of it. So
so he has about 2.5 hours of matches on there right now.
Based on what you saw, how different is it from 5 in terms of speed? To me, Street Fighter's always kind of played one or the other. It's either super stupid fast or kind of choppy.
So from what I've seen, it's similar speed to 5, which can be kind of steamrollery in the sense that once you get started, it's going to start going crazy. But with their new system, the drive system, we have essentially focused attacks. We have parries are back. And that's how you build drive. Drive is also your EX meter and also your stun meter. So
you can choose to basically make the fight more dynamic rather than who's going to pull the first super off.
You know how Mortal Kombat 11 did this thing where they had like a defense bar and an auto regenning offense bar, and that was kind of like their way to help stop the steamroll, right? This is similar, but they encourage you to parry and be aggressive at the same time, because parry is how you get this bar back for the most part. And then when you're in what they call burnout, which is when your drive meter is completely done, all of their stances are a reference to one of their old characters. So Chun-Li, she normally has her like flowery kind of stance she has now. When she does it, she does her Street Fighter 2 like hands lowered, like bouncing back and forth kind of stance.
Oh, I got you.
That's when she's in burnout, because they're supposed to be exhausted. Ryu does this. Max actually pointed it out. It was from a Street Fighter 4 Alpha, where he goes from his normal like ready to rock, Philly shell thing going on to this like holding his side, like, oh, just stop. Oh no. Yeah, it's very cool. And on top of the trailer, they also showed off Guile, who is in full daddy mode.
Full daddy. Guile. Absolute Chad, but every bit as badass as he needs. I just watched. I saw the trailer. We talked about it briefly, but like I know what Guile used to be versus what he's able to do in that trailer is something I've never seen him do ever before. Yes, like this is basically a whole different Guile now, right?
Yeah. So it's 5. They started to steer into a more aggressive Guile by giving him things like the multi-booms, that kind of stuff. The V-trigger system,
so sick.
The V-trigger system was very much like when you pop off, you're going to pop off, and like entire life bars are gone kind of thing. So they kind of brought that into his base kit. Most of the characters that were in 5, it seems they have some kind of version of their V-trigger built into them, like Luke has his install. Some kind of install, essentially. Ryu does have Denjin mode in this one, which is kind of cool. And the best part is not an utterance of Metsu anywhere in his moveset, because he is finally past the goddamn Satsui no Hado.
He has finally moved on.
He has finally moved on with his goddamn life. We can drop that storyline. But so the cool thing is, under 25% health, your level 3 goes from... There's level 1, 2, and 3, by the way. Your level 3 goes from just a super art to a critical art, and it changes slightly. It's like a desperation move. Less health, more powerful. And the animation changes slightly, so his Shin Shoryuken, which is very similar to the 4, where he does like the big gut shot and then the big chin shot before he goes into the Shoryuken.
That's always been nice, though.
It's always been so sick, but now it looks even better. Okay. When he's in this critical art state, it goes into a Denjin Shin Shoryuken. So it gets electricity. He gets a full Mortal Kombat X-ray out of it.
so the punch punches deep into your stomach. The vacuum it creates like this negative void in your belly. And then he punches you again.
And then he punches you again with another electric fist. So, yeah. Ryu looks goddamn cool in this game. Yeah. And he's got all kinds of new moves and stuff. Like I said, Chun has a whole new stance. She has a low crouch stance where like every button you get a different thing out of.
I see her doing that.
Everything about this game looks amazing, and I am so
all the flack
excited.
That 5 got might finally be swept under the rug. Huh?
Listen, there's a reason why every even-numbered Street Fighter has been gangbusters. So
is that it? Is
literally every single one? Street Fighter 2. Like, do we need to say anything else? It's Street Fighter 2. Street Fighter 4 brought back the entire fighting game industry. Street Fighter 6 might do something similar. Who knows? This is a whole new era for Capcom. It's whole new producers and directors. Ono is out. It is no longer Ono in the fighting game division. It is their Nakayama and someone else. They usually run the Monster Hunter stuff. So whole new heads, whole new energy. I'm here for it.
That's kind of the whole theme of today's talk.
Yes. See? I told you it had to do with today.
Bro, give it up right here.
What's up? There we go.
What's up, baby? I dig it.
Yeah.
See, but and just to kind of put the cap on it, it's because of the memories that I have of Street Fighter and me never really being able to play it that I live vicariously through you. So your excitement is siphoning into.
I'm so fucking excited. Like, you know this, but I feel like a lot of people who, since I started streaming, don't know this. Like, Street Fighter is my shit. Yeah, I don't play a lot of Street Fighter because I don't like 5. That's the thing. Like, Street Fighter is my shit. I went so hard in 4. And I am so excited to be excited about Street Fighter again.
It's going to be dope, man. It's going to be dope. So just to tie into today's theme, we were talking a little bit about the change of guards and how things look different going into the future. So given how we've had already, I think, 450th homages this year?
We've reviewed at least 3 on this show alone. So
given that this was supposed to be the one that they've been building up to before the Shin Kamen Rider announcements and all that. So this was like the big billing, and the vibes going into this, watching it, I gave it the levity that I thought it should have had, but I ended up with a Tyson movie that tried a little bit harder than what other Tysons do.
Yeah, so we're talking Kamen Rider Beyond Generations. This is the Revice and Saber crossover movie, essentially.
Was it?
Yes, and the 12th installment of the Movie War series of films. Film also commemorates the 50th anniversary. Iki Toma and their allies battle the demon Diablo while attempting to help a time-displaced scientist reconcile his now adult son. We'll talk about that in a minute, because oh my god, do I have opinions about that.
The timey-wimey stuff is fun. Oh, you know how much I love timey-wimey shit.
So this movie, let me set the stage for everyone here. This, again, spoilers, we're going to talk, this movie just came out, kind of, sort of. But
officially.
So it starts off in 2071, where we see the world has been taken over by the demons from Revice.
Yeah, we biffed it. Revice biffed it badly.
Yeah, Iki done fucked up.
Something happened.
Vice said, I am a demon. That's what happened.
Yeah, we all we see is death and chaos, and it's Devil City now.
Yes, which is a badass name. I would love to live there.
It's basically the Kenshiro's future, and devils are running amok. Yeah. So it's dope. Cyberpunk Kenshiro. And it's all murder bots. You know, it's everything that I always wanted in my dystopia, because that's my fear.
I have to go get something that relates to this, so please continue with the plot.
Go get it.
Yes.
So all right. So we open up the movie. We have a mysterious guy who's just running through, being chased by these murder bots who are. And my favorite thing about murder bots, guys, is that stupid convoys. My nightmare has always been like being. Like the Terminator movie, imagine like being manhandled by the fucking T-800, and he's like throwing you around, but the whole time he's telling you, "We're your friend. Everything is fine. Please be calm. Don't fight back." That shit gives me nightmares, man. Like I despise it on levels that I can't express. And this 01 pushed that to a different level. And watching this guy be chased by those fucking death drones saying everything is stop, halt.
Yeah.
No, fuck that. I'm running faster.
You don't like robots? You're fine. So we found this the other night. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. Can you see what it says?
Devil. Oh, okay. Devil 2015.
No, it says Neville the Devil 2015.
Okay.
So for the friends at home, Neville is my last name. If you guys didn't know, we found this randomly in my closet. I don't know what it's about, but I thought it was convenient that we magically found that the day before we talk about Beyond Generations about Devil City.
So you have your own. So you have your own Vice.
I have my own ring name already. That's what it is. Apparently, I'm sure there's a stamp around here, so I'm gonna find like a Gifu stamp in the closet too.
The third one.
Y'all are fucked after that.
The green Gifu stamp.
Oh my god! Yeah. So did you talk about the new Gifu stamp?
No, I got hung up on the robots. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So
yeah.
basically, the guy's running through. He bumps into an old George. And it's
who we don't know is George at this point, but it's goddamn George. Like
it's George because you can't that handsome Punham. Look at that face, man. Listen, my fandom for George jumped like 3 levels in this movie alone.
Really?
Like, I can't get enough of the guy.
Okay.
He chews up every scene he's in, and I'll put it in Discord later when we get to it. But the one scene he's in, he's not even the key part of the scene, but he makes it even better. So anyway, he gives him the Cyclotron driver, which is sexy. How do you like the driver?
It's
cool.
honestly, so it's fine. Yes,
because it's simple.
For what it is, it's nice. It's a very basic. Obviously, it's like the Cyclone driver, the original, Kamen Rider Ichigo Cyclone driver. But it's it has the I'm gonna call it the ghost masking plate thing on top of it.
Okay,
it's that same kind of like frosted plastic it has going on, and then it has the LED cyclone in the center. I mean,
remember how everything in the past, like when they thought of it in the future, had like sheen on it, and like it was either chrome or this. That's what I thought. Like this is a driver that is designed to look like a throwback. With everything. This is
the driver if they made Shin Kamen Rider in like 2002. This is like this is like, oh, we're gonna update it, make it look super cool and modern.
Remember when everybody had those Macs with the stupid coloring on it, the green
yes. I always thought because the handle, I thought you could turn and like pull out like the core, and that's how you put pieces into it. The goddamn, what movie was that? Where you had to like push in the cores and turn them. Like I always thought it was that kind of thing.
Every bomb movie,
where you got like.
No, The Rock did it the best. Remember The Rock with Nicolas Cage, where they had to pull the death beads out of the. Anyway, we'll talk about it. So after a bunch of exposition dump, you get old George basically throws this driver on him. He's like, "Listen, you're the only because we're in a shit situation. It kind of works out where you specifically, sir, were like fated to meet up with me so that I could send you your consciousness back in time."
Yep. So it doesn't actually transport anyone in time. It transports their consciousness, which is problem number 1 I have with this whole scenario.
God. Okay, but if you're really gonna get hung up on that, then the rest of the movie is just not.
No. I have plenty of issues with the rest of this movie.
Hinges on this concept of intangibility. Because if he was tangible, this movie would be over in 20 minutes.
Yep.
So, all right. Let's get going here. So, okay, he gives him the driver. He gets sent back into the past, future, past. Okay.
Yeah. And so let's just talk about this character, because I think they'll explain it eventually. But like, so this character's name is Ryunosuke, and what was it?
Momose
Ryunosuke. Oh my god, that was a terrible name. Anyway, this dude is from 1971.
And he looks every bit of it, man. Yeah. He's wearing dapper clothes.
Which is why I was very confused, because old George tells him he needs to find his son in 2071.
Yes. Okay.
And he tells him to go back to 2021 to find his son. I was like, is this a mistranslation? I'm very confused.
So it explains halfway through the movie that it's a bunch of back and forth timey-wimey stuff.
Yes.
So we, in essence, so to avoid the confusion, in essence, at the moment we're introduced into the movie, that point is the future of where he originally came from. And in that moment, he was sent 50 years to the past.
Yes.
Which was still his future.
Yes, which was technically 50 years his future. When he wakes up, it is 100 years, because let's talk about, I'm just gonna do it now because whatever. So we find out that there is a second stamp, a second Gifu stamp, the Diablo stamp, and it is discovered by none other than Shocker. So that
Shocker created it with that. So they subterfuged Phoenix when they found the first stamp, took it, did their whole little, we're gonna copy this bullshit.
Yeah.
And then Phoenix had to steal their shit back, and then they got fucked.
Shocker has the Diablo stamp. So you find out this Ryunosuke guy is actually the head scientist behind turning Ichigo, Takeshi Hongo, into Kamen Rider Ichigo.
Of the plots of this movie, bro, there's like 30 of them that don't matter.
None of them matter.
The one that I will give it the most credit for is this. The way that they made this work didn't feel so awkward. You know what I mean? Like,
it felt awkward. I'm gonna hard disagree with you on that one.
Give it that they're doing this redo of the history. You know what I mean? Like,
I guess. I mean, it's fine.
It's not. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm saying that this works.
So this is the kind of story that kind of bugs me a little bit, is when you have this timey-wimey excuse for nothing to matter. So we have this guy who is the scientist who created Ichigo, and then he regrets it. Like, he's the one who created all of the monsters from the original Kamen Rider. He's the head scientist at Shocker. He regrets it because he's torturing these people, and he did it all for the sake of science.
He didn't realize it, man.
Yeah, cool. So he tries to run away in a quite literal cartoon, like, spotlight goddamn comedy scene.
Yeah, like, this movie is not the greatest movie. It's not
terrible.
At all.
This movie's god awful.
But let's give it what it does well. 2 action scenes and the henshin sequences.
Okay, no, I'll give you that. But like, I was literally falling asleep watching this movie.
It was the best that they could do to make it work, so that they could have Ichigo. No, I'm saying that they could do. I'm not excusing it. I'm saying it's I'm kind of giving it what it is.
You know what? I'll be the bad guy today. This movie was hot dog shit.
Yeah.
This movie,
the Diablo.
I would rather watch Zio than watch this movie again.
Oh wow!
I did not like this movie.
Did you enjoy the cameos?
Yes, I enjoyed some of the cameos. Not why. We can talk about why in a minute, but I did not enjoy why. I thought that was ridiculous. And I know I'm getting heated and ridiculous, and I'm saying things are ridiculous in a kid's show.
Let's go. No, let's go.
Okay.
You need this. This.
So Ryunosuke, literally the Spotlight cartoon running on a scaffolding, the Spotlight sees him, and he gets caught. And
does
what do they do?
Remember that? Remember the fucking the Austin Powers one where that's
literally what it was. And then not only that, they Dr. Evil his ass and put him into space.
He's thrown in for some reason they don't kill him. They throw him in a spaceship, and then the spaceship gets sucked into a black hole, and the black hole is thrown into the future.
He's just in space for 100 years.
Yeah, he's quantum leaped.
And then that's why he wakes up in the future and has to go to the past to find his son.
So
good
he can't
Lord,
go
that is a
into the past.
long trek to a short drink of water. Oh my God.
Right. Okay. He can't do it physically. He has to go conscious. He can only go to the past to his conscious. So obviously the bullshit science is because reasons. Okay?
Honestly, I would have given this movie so much more if they just went with the Drive special next, whatever it was, where he was his grandson and had to come back.
Yeah, they did a lot to try to make it this is actually relevant to the lore all along. I get what they tried to do, but no.
But then it wasn't because time deleted him.
But okay, so what we're saying is that this scientist dude, he went back. The whole movie happened.
Mm-hmm.
He went back in time to be a good guy, and then. But wouldn't that mean that Ichigo never was Ichigo?
No. So he just never went to the future or nothing. I don't know. I guess
so he just got
erased.
Dies?
He just got erased.
Straight up dies.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, or that timeline gets erased.
I don't know.
This is why you don't play with time.
It doesn't matter.
You introduce stupid little time.
Sentry doesn't exist after this movie.
Exactly.
Peacemaker's saying we have to make the Century name make sense somehow. That's what I think. He got Thanos out of existence. Because it takes
a century to figure out this freaking plot, because there is none. Like, first you have cameos. They should have just made it the grandson.
That's all they should have done.
You have cameos by the Saber Gang so that they can do something about these pillars that do nothing other than what was obvious from the beginning. So they could have stopped it if they just would have.
Listen.
And George biffed it, and I'm like, George, why?
You didn't see only thing that kept me in awe.
Around the world. Yeah, they go around the world. Diablo is reawakened by the Aguilera gang. They awaken him. He starts stomping holes in everybody. And when the Saber Gang shows up, suddenly they're like, wow, he's like super strong. We can't do anything. I don't have fucking Cross Saber in my back pocket sitting the whole time. Or Hyojin Senki. None of that. No, let's just fight him in our base forms the whole time. And so, okay, so he summons these hero allegory kaiju. I think they're, who's it? Kufu, Leonidas, couple other famous people. It doesn't matter. They're just the kaiju.
I think one of them's like King Tut or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. They're kaiju that are themed, and they end up in all the set pieces from the Saber episodes that you remember, the southern base and all that shit. And they summon these pillars that are used to awaken the power of whatever's coming, which is obviously coming. Yep. So one by one, they strategically get their asses kicked.
Yep.
And they break off into groups. And this is where the movie starts to at least be tolerable, because the fights are okay, even though they last 30 seconds a piece, maybe. Like, there's so many 30-second fight sequences because there's so many that they forgot to go back to, that they're like, oh yeah, and these guys lost their fight, by the way. Yeah. So
the sister and brother, what the phrase, and then Hiromi, they were just like, we're gonna throw them over here, and then we're gonna forget about them for the other 45 minutes of this movie.
We got so fucking worked up that I forgot I wrote notes here, bro. So there's like all kinds of shit. Like, George has these drawings in his hideout, to go back to the beginning, that are so fucking dope. I don't know if you took a second it was just
the concept art
to appreciate
they just printed
the set
out
piece. Yeah, and that's the kind of stuff I want. So if anybody has links to that, please. I love that shit. Yeah, I mean, basically all it is to get the power, these power columns.
Which I don't know why they needed them to make him full again.
Himiko CRISPR, Edison CRISPR, Kufu CRISPR, and the Leonidas CRISPR.
There you go.
Those are the bad guys.
Yep.
Saber Gang shows up at the bathhouse. Everybody sees Sora. Whatever. Oh, did you see Sora now as a fucking bigger kid? Like,
yeah, Sora's like 14 now. All of a sudden.
Yeah. I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
No, I don't need more of that.
I will give Rintaro props. He was like, "You guys got a private bath?" Or he was like, "I'm trying to get a little that good bath." You know what I'm saying?
I mean, the Rintaro the ship is still like as awkward as over.
Yeah, because they're like dating, but like everyone's just expecting him to marry her now. And then Ogami was like, "Relax, Tiger, calm it down. We're going over here."
George is just like all over the place with this shit. The Rintaro fan service in this was wow, man.
You didn't like the towel scene?
Bro, it was amazing. It was everything I ever wanted and more, but I had enough after the first 10 seconds. I was like, oh god, this is too much. And this is a kid's show. Anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put something in the Discord. I know it's probably gonna be difficult, but there is a clip here. Oh no, I'll send it to you. You can do what you want.
Okay.
It's not gonna work. So there's a very after the Rintaro fan service comes probably my favorite scene in the whole movie. You should be getting in a sec. During the whole Saber meeting up with the Revice gang, everybody splits off into different groups, and Yuri shows up at the Phoenix headquarters randomly. And Hiromi, being Hiromi, is the kind of dude who just fucking overreacts and is always ready to fucking go.
Yes, it's previous Hiromi who just kind of like does his thing.
Yeah, so wild hat Hiromi, Yuri walks in, he's just holding some plant. He's not aware. He's Yuri, you know?
Yeah.
Yuri doing
he's Yuriing around, yes.
Yuriing around, running into Hiromi, who's Hiromiing around, running into George, who's in the middle of them both. Hiromi pulls a piece right in his fucking face.
Yeah, he's just like, what are you doing here? I'm like, whoa.
Like so level 100 from nothing. Yuri's just like, and the whole time Yuri's just like covering the fucking plant. Like, what's going on? Why? And George was like, shut
insane.
up.
So here's the clip on the screen for anyone watching live. I'm going to play it for you guys. But yeah, Hiromi just pulls this gun out of nowhere. And Yuri's like, what the fuck?
Who the hell are you? And George's like, shut up.
He literally slaps it out of his hand.
I love it. That's why George is a man.
Oh, man.
So yeah, so that's the best part of the whole movie. The rest is just nonsense.
And then, so Peacemaker brings up something that really, really, really bugged me. The towel scene is the only scene, where they have the actual set for the southern base.
Yes, a lot of
the rest of it was the worst green screen I've ever seen in my life.
It was distracting because you could tell. I mean, they don't have the sets anymore, so they were like, "Fuck, we have pictures."
And like, perfect. They didn't even line it up correct. It was like a generic set photo, but like they were all like half a step down farther than they should be, and they're like sitting in green screen chairs.
A lot of the visuals were okay. In this with the fights.
But yes, whenever they cut to like the southern base, it was just like, oh god.
Yeah, they're like, what's left in the budget?
My college projects look better than this.
We got $30, man. All right.
Yeah,
like
that was bad. That was so bad.
I have here a couple notes about the Berserker concept for the.
Yes. So when Century calm down my ranting now that I've screamed over you for 3 minutes now. So the Century, when he first shows up, when Ryunosuke goes back in time with his consciousness or whatever, he combines with his son who does not want to deal with him. So basically he forces the henshin. And that puts him into this like Amazon style Berserker state. And the suits look a little different. They don't look that different to me. I feel like it just kind of has the blue pieces on it.
It's really just the eyes and that's it. Like
and it was fine. It was still kind of cool. Like Century, when he's doing his thing, is fine. The like he has these cool like spiky wheel things that he just like kind of summons out of nowhere, which are kind of cool. And they eventually start using them as like platforms to jump off of, and he starts using them more like not just as a buzzsaw. When he's in his Berserker form, it's kind of like he just throws them.
I like it though. Like as a weapon, it's unfortunate that he didn't have a physical one, but I guess that's kind of the point, is that he's very Showa homage. They didn't really rock weapons. So I like that the idea behind the Berserker form is that the out of sync harmony between them. So like the fact that they're beefing,
which was a solid. I like that aspect. You know, given what the story is in the context of whatever. The fact that the form didn't work, kind of like a bad fusion in Dragon Ball, like when we get fat Gotenks or like old Gotenks, that kind of thing. I like that kind of stuff. When you see like the failed form and like he was strong, but like he wasn't, in control enough and wasn't strong enough to like do what he needed to do. So it was kind of cool.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the color scheme is dope for that. And he gets in the first tango with Diablo, but because he's not fully, in sync, he's only strong enough to kind of fend him off. That's when, Toma shows up, Daddy Toma.
Yeah.
Pulls out of retirement to fucking save the day.
Literal retirement. Retirement.
He said, we're sorry we had to pull you out of swordsman retirement ship, whatever the fuck it was. Like, I'm like, okay.
So I pulled up the Century's Berserk form on the screen here. Yeah, he's got these kind of like dark blue rib cage things. It's very like exposed almost. It has like a bone motif. You can see the Cyclone driver too. I don't mind it. I think the actual like full form is much better though, personally.
Yeah, I mean, so I kind of skipped a beat there where before Toma shows up, Revice pulled the Condor climax to run away from Diablo because
there was a bunch of people around them. He was like, we got to get the fuck out of here. This is nonsense.
So they grab Sentry and they only get a little bit far because he starts to fucking rebel in air. And they fight in the middle of the air, breaking the climax, falling to the ground.
He grabs both of them. He grabs Diablo too. He chucks both of them.
He's oh, I didn't see that.
He grabs Diablo doesn't just like fly after him. He grabs both of them and they kind of like all fall to the ground.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah.
So that's when Toma shows up after even Sentry kicks the shit out of Revice and Vice for a couple beats before they even show up to Henshin, all that shit. So basically, the note I wrote is I made a note that Sentry actually he matched he matched Saber's finishers, but overpowered Revice's kicks. That's what I wrote here. Matched the finishers of the Saber gang, but overpowered.
I guess that makes sense because
kicks.
the Saber gang always did more of like slashes and waves of energy and all that kind of stuff. I just pictured that scene like Rintaro going to Toma and Toma like getting up off the couch slowly, and you hear like his knees crack and be like, I guess I'll come out of retirement. Literal retirement, because Sophia gives Rintaro Rekka and says, go find Toma and give him the Sword of Flames. And then Toma's like, I mean, sure. I genuinely don't remember Toma like giving up the sword though.
No, it was, see what it is when he was done, he gave Sophia the sword. And then he just kind of does this daily regimen where he runs on that endless staircase.
Gotcha.
So
he does the rainbow treadmill. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's all it is. It's his routine, man. You find him every day. 6 a.m, always there. Count on Toma.
Yeah. And then Toma, literally, the dude who could just probably solve this problem by himself, shows up and is like, yeah, I came out of retirement. I'll always help my friends. Why not?
Yeah, here's base form because we're just gonna waste everybody's time.
Yeah, because like not even 3 volumes. Like that was kind of my thing too. It was like you could easily do 3
not
volumes.
Even one power up. He didn't use a power up. He just went final form. Like anyway. So
no primitive cameo, no Dragonic Knight.
Yeah, no, they have their little confusion thing, and they finally separate. They realize, hey, it's not working because we're
my son hates me.
Daiji shows up where they found the Diablo guy, and Daiji is doing the whole
Daijiing
like, late Inspector Gadgeting shit that they're just giving him out of mercy.
Daiji was doing this thing where he was like, they're talking about what's going on, and he like finds something out that they all already know in the room except for him, and he's like, guys, I found this thing, and they're like, yeah.
He's like, oh,
I know. And he's like,
so I just did the whole you did. Oh,
yeah, and he's like, okay, well, I found this thing, and I think this is their plan, and like, yeah. We're like 3 steps past that, my man. Daiji's like, but I helped, guys. I helped. Shocker.
So, it's so bad. The Slash and Buster show up in the desert randomly to take on the Egyptian kaiju.
Because it's Slash and Buster.
I think it's a Fangar. Are they? I think they're throwback or homages. I thought it was a Fangar, but I might be wrong.
Not a Fangar. No. It's just one of the dudes.
Yeah, it just looked like it had the stained glass.
Nah, they're supposed to be the like Revice Devils.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
The Kenzan and Espada show up to take on whatever the Frieza voice kaiju was.
Yes, that was Frieza. Okay, I thought so.
That was Frieza. You'll never escape that voice. That voice is.
I thought so. I wasn't sure, but I was like, it wouldn't be. They had Vegeta on an episode a couple weeks ago, so.
Okay, but it's you could sneak Vegeta by me. You could, but you couldn't sneak.
Well, that was the older guy who was on the voice actor episode. That was Vegeta.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was Vegeta's voice actor.
So there you go. I couldn't. Pretty sure. I couldn't catch it.
Someone confirmed. Someone told me. I think Peacemaker mentioned it. I don't know. Someone told us.
That's the case. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Is that's the cadence that you can't match. Like.
I'm waiting for Goku herself to show up. The entire Goku family.
It would just be all of them.
That lady dies. Dragon Ball's over. It's done. She plays like 19 characters in that show. She
can't. They wished on her to live forever. She's good. So
she's on strings. She's been on strings for like 20 years. So
we get the whole thing that the backstory, the reason why the Berserker mode is happening is because Hideo, which is the old son, felt betrayed that his dad ditched him all those years ago because he didn't know. Yeah. So because daddy didn't love him.
Yep. To be fair,
it won't work.
Daddy
went to go get cigarettes.
Daddy went to go get cigarettes, made some cyborgs, and then got frozen in space buttholes. So that whole thing. I mean,
do you need a hug?
Hideo needed a hug because their whole thing was they were bonding over bullet trains. Hideo now works on bullet trains, and he's having issues with his own son, of course, which is magically solved by just sitting on a train. But okay, he's still mad at his dad for leaving him and his mom and just kind of disappearing out of nowhere. And then, that's not long after we find out that he went to go join the neo-Nazis of all people.
So, and in this sequence, you get the vibe that it's not going to work out. So they do the whole break off mandatory mid-movie split.
Yep.
So this is where everybody starts.
Because we can't afford to have this many people on screen at once for too long.
Yeah. So everybody gets their asses kicked individually, taking their turns by getting bodied. I wrote here. I don't know if you remember a Val Kilmer movie called Top Secret.
Oh, I have heard of it. I don't know if I've ever seen it though.
There is a character in that movie called Latrine, and every scene he shows up in, he's on the brink of death, borderline injured. That's Hiromi in this whole movie.
Yes.
Every scene he shows up in. To be fair,
that was Hiromi in the series too.
And that's what I'm saying. I wrote here too. That's in and overall. But I wrote in this movie, Hiromi's role is to be Latrine, where in every scene he's either fucking hurt or murdered on the brink of death.
Yep. That sounds about right.
Yeah. So I wrote here that they did a bunch of Showa homages. I didn't write any of the kaiju's names, but there's a sequence where Hideo and Ryunosuke are going heart to heart, and they're going on the backstory, and he goes with Toma off on and explains what happened to him and why he did what he did, and that's where we get this. And in terms of recreations, the set pieces were okay, basic as they are.
What did you think of Takashi's son playing him in the past?
Oh, bro, that's my second favorite part of this movie.
Okay.
Because it's not going to work for everybody, because it's not.
Yeah.
But when you think of, they still use the old suit. You know what I mean? They could have updated it and done 100 different things.
Yep.
But they used the old suit, they used his kid, and they gave the same vibe. And probably more fierce.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They didn't cartoonize it, they didn't satirize it. So I looked at it like that.
Yeah, that was like a 10-minute scene maybe. They definitely shot it like it was an episode of the original Kamen Rider, which was kind of cool. That was cool to see. The effects were all the same. They had the flashing light when he's on the table and everything. And then there's his fight scene, right? Like his moment, which I thought was kind of sick. And I would watch a whole series if they redid it with his kid.
Bro.
Peacemaker's asking, but is it better than him playing the son of Sagata Sanshiro? If he shows up in a gi and just starts like punching controllers, it's game over. I'm retiring.
It wouldn't be a gi. It would be the cleaning suit. It would just be that. It would be the smock with the beige look. He couldn't. There's Sagata is like a whole nother level, bro.
I don't think like Kamen Rider was his career. That's a thing. He plays his own. What? I gotta find that. That's a thing. Apparently, he plays the own son of Sagata. Yeah.
I gotta see it.
Oh my god.
We gotta find it.
We gotta find it.
Son of Sagata. Hold on.
So that's ridiculous. But yes, when they're in here, when he's in this movie doing his whole thing, his whole shtick, the hongo, he's doing the hongo. He's hongoing around, if you will.
Oh my god.
He hongos very hard. He's got he's got it down pat.
You could tell that he went, okay, Dad, what would you do?
Yeah.
Are you sure we can't just use my takes? No. We have to use him. Because I can do this. Oh, wow. What?
Oh, boy.
Oh, he's a dapper boy.
Oh, no. Okay.
Excuse me. Oops, sorry, guys. Segashiro.
Okay. Okay,
homie. All right.
I like how he's still as fantastic as ever, but he doesn't have the gi. It's not as exciting without the gi.
But it's an intensity. He still has the same intensity.
Yes, he does.
Okay. I dig it. Very, very well attempted, my boy.
I like it. I appreciate the effort.
That's not bad. I like it. So he steals the movie for the next 10 minutes, and it is every bit as awesome as it should be. For the whole movie, this was worth it. Think of watching the old series and having that. Like having the quality that you would hope. Well, imagine the revised quality of an old show. That's basically it.
Yep.
And damn, just the impact of that henshin, bro. I think I watched it I must have rewound it 5 times, because that leap, the way that they shot the belt to start up. Mm-hmm. Oh my god.
Do you think I'm convinced he was just wearing the CSM Cyclone Driver? That's all he was wearing. I'm pretty sure.
It could be.
Because it looks like it moves exactly the same. I think they just gave him a CSM Cyclone.
That was so sick to see, man. I can't. If Shin is anything.
Oh God,
even,
where'd you go?
well, I'm back.
Okay. That was very bright flash of orange.
Sorry. Yeah. But so basically if Shin looks better than this,
it absolutely does, in my opinion. And we can talk about Shin when we get to the news, because I think there was some more news about Shin. So anyway, getting back to Beyond Generation, so that's definitely a highlight of the movie for me. I mean, I'm going to shit on this movie continuously, but that was definitely a highlight. That was pretty cool to see. And then they immediately ruined it with, the Austin Powers light thing, but whatever.
Yeah.
And then as we go through this movie,
Diablo was born from the Vice stamp that they made, that they stamped on Ryunosuke.
Yes.
So Diablo's the contract devil of him.
Why Diablo wasn't trying to absorb Ryunosuke instead of this pillar thing, I will never understand.
Because plot reasons.
Okay. I hear you, but also no.
Good. Yeah. All right, fair. Yeah.
No.
So it would erase the timeline if they went back to the... Okay, so the reason that they can't just stop everything from happening, and they kind of gave a bullshit reason for that, was it would erase every moment after the change.
But he does that anyway.
No. Yes. No.
But
yes.
So here's my thing with that line, right? And again, this comes back to no one thought about the time thing for 3 seconds. No one.
But that's just, they tried, and basically they can't stop Diablo from being born, because everything after Diablo's being born would never have happened, which includes the timeline that exists. The only thing that can change is the variable, which was Ryunosuke, because he is now an anomaly that was sent back and forth through time.
Okay, so if we just remove Ryunosuke, time resets to what it was supposed to be, I guess? Is that what we're getting at here?
But they can't, because the problem is...
But he removes himself from the timeline.
After dispatching Diablo, because of the contract.
I feel like this movie was written by a 5-year-old who had his tongue out the entire time.
No, it was
that's really cool.
It was written by a 25-year-old blind dog.
Oh,
correct.
Who had his tongue out because he can't keep it in his mouth anymore. Got it.
Yeah, and the pen was in his ass. So,
gotcha. Yeah.
So basically,
I try really hard not to be negative, but this movie was kind of garbage, and I'm really
Genta shows up.
And
Genta
part of it
shows
is
up for a bit.
Who?
He was Genta.
Genta, yeah, he was there.
He was there. He did nothing,
things.
But he was there.
Cool. Can we talk about the teams? Let's talk about the teams. Let's talk about Saber Riders, because that's what I loved about this movie.
So the team, they do the whole end game plot where they get split up into 2 separate teams. There's a future team and a present team. The future team is made of Daiji, Toma, Rintaro, Vice, Yuri, and Sakura. Vice and
because Vice wanted to see Devil City. This is apparently still in where, before they solidified the we're bros thing.
Of all the little gems, that's one of them, because the Vice is being totally Vice about the Devil City. He's like, oh yeah, it's totally horrible that it's happened, you guys.
Yeah. So I think this is before, clearly he had just gotten Barrett Rex in the timeline. I'm sure these movies, like many movies and these kind of things, aren't a solid time slot in the series. So he wants to see this future. So Iki stamps himself, and Vice gets a physical body. So that's how he's able to go with the gang. And then Iki stays with everyone else. And tries to be fair, big dick energy Diablo himself. I respected that effort, honestly.
It wasn't bad. They give it an effort. The last place that the kaiju show up to make one of those energy pillars is Alaska.
Yeah.
Because they
have to make a star. It's an upside down pentagram, and that's where they triangulated the last point. And of course,
George
the last people,
because oh my god, I didn't see it coming. George, come on. Bro.
The last people are Aguilera, Julio, and No Hat Julio.
Yes.
Our friends, the Deadmans. They are the last key to this pillar. So surprisingly, they are stuck with the 3 that we forget. We get their brother and sister, and then Hiromi. They're just stuck with those 3, and no one else really comes to help them out.
It sucked.
I was
the
okay.
teams were not even. That's why I think they went with the gimmick that they did. So
they were broken into, from what I could tell. I mean, it was essentially the final fight teams for the most part.
Yeah.
Because we had like Ogami and what's his face?
You're right.
We had.
You're right. I didn't think about that.
I forgot their names already. Kentaro and Rin, and then it was essentially and then Fire and Waterboy. So
the whole spiel goes down. They get sent into the future because if anything happens to Ryunosuke's physical body, it's kaput. So they go and
Peacemaker's
they
like
the driver.
Peacemaker says, and eventually Sophia is Calibur, because we have to remind you that she is Soul Calibur. Or Soul Calibur, Jesus. Because she's Calibur now. She has the soul edge.
All she does is pick it up, right?
She literally picks it up and then is like, I'm going to fight with you. It's like, bitch, you could have done that 2 hours ago.
And then the stunt double is just like, and hold it in the same way so that it's implied that it's her, and we're good. So, yeah. George so they go into the future by touching the cyclotron driver, and their consciousness gets transferred to the future. Perfect. It makes perfect sense.
Say, so they're on the Phoenix aircraft doing all this, right? That's when they split up. They have their big, like, let's do this team, the hype up for the final. And then they get sucked into their consciousness gets sucked to the future. Their bodies are just laying there. And then they go, let's grab them and pull them in. I was like, why didn't you just do this in the conference room?
Because nobody thought about that, bro.
We're like, why would you bring everyone outside to put them back inside?
You know how you get so hype about something and then you do it, and then by the time it's done, you're like, oh yeah.
Like, they literally, George is like, grab a couple bodies, we got to take them inside. It's like, what?
Speaking of George, future George had the time in the 70, 50 years that it took from the world went to shit to create our dream of an entire library of rider suits.
He creates clone riders that these people can. So the whole thing with the consciousness, and this is why Ryunosuke needed his son, is because the consciousness needs a physical body to latch onto and use, essentially.
Yes.
So when they get sent into the future,
great.
Yeah, when they get sent into the future, how do they have this cameo changing thing and how they can henshin, because they're just a bunch of mind goblins, essentially. George has created a copy of every single rider that's ever existed in a gross like white Zetsu style zombie body.
Why not? Because why not?
Because George why the hell not?
I love it. When I saw it, I'm like, George, you devious sexy bastard. Oh my god.
Because
why wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Because what would the ultimate scientifically backed, with nothing but time on his hands now,
fanboy
genius do? Make the riders. Oh my god.
So they're in literal test tubes, just getting all the bubbles around. And everything.
And it is vast. Yeah. It goes vast.
Goes
and
forever.
He's just like, well, you get your pick. It's so nice.
And he teleports their asses in from an iPad.
Yeah. After a couple clicks, because he's George Karisaki.
Yeah. He's got the full list. He just selects the one he wants and like swipes to the right, and they get teleported to them.
So they get ganked by the Devil Riders, who are the riders of the future. They're just Yongo,
a lot of movie riders.
Duke, Yongo, Duke, Sorcerer, two of the Shocker Troopers, I think, Eternal, and Barks. I can't remember if that's how you pronounce it right.
Barks.
The Geo enemy, the one that was the Amazon RX combo. Barks, I think.
I'll have to find a picture. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah. So. Anyway, the good guys, the future team, Vice gets Black RX, Sakura gets Valkyrie.
Oh, okay, the movie guy. Gotcha.
Yeah, the movie dude. Is it Barks? I was pretty sure.
Yeah, Barlix. I don't know. I didn't watch that movie because I don't care about you. But I was very happy to see Yongo show back up. Honestly,
yeah,
I thought that was sick. I forgot how cool that's. I didn't forget, but I was reminded.
It's a crisp suit, and it works because it just reminds how good
the slide kick is.
Yeah. No, but whatever. Yeah. I forgot Sorcerer's name. It took me a second to remember that was Sorcerer. I was like, what is?
Yep.
He's not.
That's where we get Gold All Dragon.
Yeah. Anyway, so Sakura gets Valkyrie, Daiji gets Knight, which was nice to see. Toma gets Axel, Rintaro gets some weird ass suit, and Yuri gets
Blade. My boy Rintaro goes from Blade to Hyojo Senki in this movie. Highlight. Top tier moment.
I like a moment in there where he goes, "This suit fits like a glove."
Blade.
Yeah. I put a note here at 1 hour and 30 seconds in, bro. Yuri as XA Muteki does one of the cleanest clotheslines I have ever seen, and I might.
I enjoyed him particularly as Muteki because it felt like, you know, Axel is a pretty straightforward kind of dude. Rintaro didn't really use the cards because that's a whole thing. You need like a science brain to handle that nonsense. Like Muteki in particular, I feel like is, you know, because it's the invincibility star in Mario, it can be a very easy like problem solver, but because they don't know how to use any of these powers, Yuri's just running around punching things. Like he's not doing any kind of crazy like zip zappity zoop zoop.
They didn't do anything wild. No, they didn't do anything like to break the mold. But
no,
you were right that it felt safer. But dude, like
it just
to see them,
it was really cool to see them. I thought that was a cool little thing in the, you know, this shit pile that is this movie. It was a cool little nugget to be like, oh yeah, no, they're using them, but like it's still them. They have no idea how to use these riders' powers.
Yeah. Plus to see Eternal go up against Knight, that was a nice little fight.
Yeah.
Like just the combo that they would do there.
I also forgot about Eternal's like combat dagger. I forgot about that for a minute. So like seeing him do it and do like the whip around and then start stabbing again, I was like, oh, that was cool.
The zone thing. But his whole fighting motif with the dagger thing, even in the movie, was fucking dope.
Yeah.
But RX goes up against Barks, and that's just a weird combo because of the whole.
Peacemaker is mentioning the helmetless shots. Yes, they are legit. They actually put those suits on, and that was a very cool moment. I'm down for more, not only broken helmets, but I'm down for like helmetless engines. That'd be cool.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, those were legit. That wasn't like photoshopped or anything. They actually put those suits on. There's behind the scene footage of them like walking around in those suits, joking around. It's pretty sick.
That's all that would exist of us, bro.
That's
all that would exist of us.
Yep. So very cool, very cool little aspect again to this kind of not great movie. But I am down for more of that. Give me broken and give me helmetless. Let's go.
Oh man, I can't get the moment, but whatever. Anyway, so heart to heart moment after they get their asses kicked, because even after they get all these power ups, they do all the fighting. Oja was in there too. I forgot Oja's there too.
Oja's there too because of course Oja is Oja. So
yeah. They go through a second cycle because they get beat out of, like classic, you get knocked out of the first tension, so they go into a second set. Vice is now Forze, Daiji is Meteor, Tolma is Super 1, which was dope. I forgot how clean that design was, man. Rintaro is Zeto, I thought, because I don't think it's J.
No.
Sakura is Nadeshiko, and Yuri is Agito.
Yep. Cool little thing. I just thought about this because, you know, they are vat-grown copies of these riders. When they de-hension like that.
Very kindly worded. Very kindly
worded. I feel like those corpses that they were inhabiting exploded when they were knocked out of those henshins. That's why they needed new ones. I just thought about that.
What we're saying is like instead what gets left behind is like the putties where they just...
Yeah, you kind of just have like a wet noodle human in there. And the reason they de-hensioned is because that wet noodle melted.
Yeah. Oh God.
That's a whole other level to that, isn't it?
And he's devious enough for it.
Yeah.
Like I always picked, like, because of my obsession with SCP, there's a specific doctor in the SCP lore that George is like perfectly attuned to. So every time I think of the most horrific things possible because of what that doctor has done, I see George doing the same shit. No problem.
Same energy. He's got the same energy going.
Yeah, same energy, bro. Same energy. Same psychopathic. Yeah, I mean, sure, he died, but like, look what I made.
Yeah. But now he's a cool squid man, so that's neat.
Sure. Yeah, you can't blink, but like, now you don't need hot glue anymore. Like, shit like that.
Good Lord.
So, Mount Fuji is the heart of the pentagram because obviously,
Fuji-san.
Diablo shows up and fucking nosedives into the fucking heart of the volcano.
He was like, "It is my time."
Like he shows up, like everybody's like, "Oh no, the mountain! It's bad. It's gonna consume all the power."
Yeah.
No, he's just like, "Yeah, but I bet you didn't expect it like this.
Just head first into the volcano. Good lord.
So he dives into the volcano, absorbs all the power, becomes fucking stupid strong.
Yep.
Everybody gets their asses kicked again.
Will say, in regard to that, Diablo's base design, I think, is really cool. I like his design.
The armored dinosaur.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So
the Wrestlersaur.
Yeah, the Wrestlersaur. So when he dove in, I expected like it to be some. I usually when they do these kind of things, like the bone would open up and you'd see like
a Resident Evil villain.
Yeah, like when they normally do this, you know, he comes out and like the bone would have been opened and you see like the underlying monster, whatever, some new design to show that he's complete. They didn't do anything like that. He just glows more purple. That's the only difference.
It was what's left, man. They only had $34 left in the budget. Bro.
Well,
it was either purple or sparkles. So
maybe they should have spent less money on the bullshit story and a little more money on the suit. So
after that, we get the final cycle of the Future Riders.
Yep.
Kuga was actually Rintaro, and that was kind of dope.
Yeah.
Vice's was, which worked perfectly.
Yep, because they're both obnoxious as hell.
Yep. And in terms of annoying characters, I mean, in terms of annoying, not annoying. Why did I say annoying? In terms of odd designs, I don't hate Waz's design as much as I used to. I think the whole color scheme works better than I liked it when Zio first started.
Yeah.
Anyway, 01 was Yuri, Tomo was Ichigo, and Taiji was Ryugen, and Sakura was Poppy.
Yep.
I was so hoping that Vice would have been Poppy, because when they first blasted the screen, I was like, oh, maybe. No.
It would have been cool to see, since Sakura was there, to see a couple like not female, like male riders traditionally, like do like a female version, kind of like what they've been doing with I don't know if the flamingo guy in Avatar Don Brothers, I don't know if he just turns into like the female ranger form or if he gets like a male version.
I think it's the skirt stays.
The skirt stays? Never mind. Yeah. But it would have been cool to see like a more like feminine build of some of these riders. That would have been kind of cool. Like there's definitely a couple like simpler rider suits they could have like tailored a little bit to fit the female form instead. Would have been kind of cool.
But so that's all we get. But double henshin we finally get the double henshin of
Peacemaker says Daiji being Ryugen says a lot more than it should.
Michi did nothing wrong.
Michi did nothing wrong. Daiji does everything wrong. Daiji's the worst.
But it's the same vibe.
It's the same energy.
Same characters. Just like
Michi did nothing wrong. Daiji did. So
what if we get a Yomotsuhiguri form for Daiji?
I think he's gonna get some kind of like Hellbat kind of thing.
Embraces the cuts. Anyway, when you catch up on Revice, you'll see where I'm going with that. But anyway,
they planted the seeds in the last episode we watched. So with the director guy like showing up,
George is almost punching him in the face with it now. Though.
Oh, okay, cool.
The future team is pulled back. George gives him the Bata Vice stamp before they go.
Yep, the 01 stamp. So the Neo Bata.
Yeah. All the finishers, Buster / combo. That's all I wrote.
Yep.
So basically, this is just
the lineup.
A bunch of fight scenes. All the dope stuff. They each take a shot at Diablo. It's nice, but then they break out. Yeah, it's fine. This is where they spent all the visuals, because obviously all the chroma keying for the previous scenes was spent to make sure that this final sequence was okay, because it done well. The only problem I have with it is it just feels like they had to put XYZ here. You know what I mean? Like it just felt so too structured and too chaotic that
my thing with this whole fight was the whole theme of this movie was we have to complete Century because he's the only one strong enough to stop Diablo. And obviously in a crossover movie about Saber and Revice, they're not just going to stand there while Century takes the crown. So they talk about how he was the only one. He really doesn't do anything in this fight other than throw up platforms.
He had an impenetrable barrier.
That's fine.
The barrier.
So he blocks one attack. He throws a platform up here or there they can jump off of. Other than that, he didn't do shit. He did a rider kick at the end, just like the rest of them. But that was about it.
He had this pseudo impenetrable barrier that only the completed form of
It was a blue wheel instead of a red
with
wheel.
his wheel of Giza. You know what I mean? His Giza wheel attack. So that's all he did was charge R2 the entire time.
Yep, that's all he did.
He broke the poise. So Diablo's poise was broken. They got the criticals on him, and end of the movie.
They did the riposte with a rider kick.
The repose rider kick. Oh, that's pretty good. That should be a rider Elden theme.
DLC for Elden Ring.
Rider.
You heard it here first, Bandai.
Repose. Yep. Rider kick repose.
Yeah. So
anyway, you get the Barrett form, which was, I guess, the newest power up at the time, and that's the form that Revice dons to do the last couple punches. You get the cross saber final
because all their hearts were united, so it spawned again. Because plot.
It's just like, and then he does nothing with it. He just opens up.
He does a cool sparkly slash. That was pretty neat, right?
Yeah, that's great.
Yep, that's pretty cool.
And then it's followed up by Revice doing another remix.
Yep,
with the Bata Vice.
But it gets bigger.
But
it gets bigger because Diablo's a kaiju size now. So they needed to do that. Right. So he just does the Neo Bata, and now he's a big grasshopper. Everybody
does their finishers. All the other sub kaiju get off. Diablo, gets Rita make my monster growth, and then Cross Saber shows up with the power of friendship. They use the Neo Vice stamp, Neo Hopper Vice stamp to do their climax form, which is just them going back to back in an awkwardly weird one-handed push-up, and then they form the leg back head section of the grasshopper. Anyway,
no, they form the grasshopper. It's just pieces come out to like form the rest of it.
So it's cringe. So
it's a remix.
So they vice stamp him, and that's pretty much it. He uses the 10 blades like bits, and that was probably the dopest thing that Saber did. But other than that, legit nothing else. Century gets a final kick on him. I really I failed that this climax felt like so by the numbers that I was just like, and this will happen.
Yes.
And this happens now.
Yes.
And this happens
and
now.
That's how I felt about the entire movie.
Yeah. As safe as it was, as pointless as the movie was, the effort of what they wanted to do didn't pan out. They really
I think
they Doctor Strange 2'd this movie, bro.
I didn't see Doctor Strange 2. I have no idea.
They made it seem like it was something else, and it's not.
Okay. We'll get there. I mean, I haven't seen it yet, so I can't even speak to that. I haven't seen the third Spider-Man movie yet, or the second Spider-Man movie for that matter.
So there's a hole in your life that
yes, I have the Spider-Mans right over there. I have to watch them.
There is a hole that you need to fill.
Oh, I know.
Spider-Man 3. Let me tell you, we'll talk about that. But
yeah,
as much of a Spider-Man freak as my baby brother was, and you know that he's the comic book freak.
Yep.
Watching that third movie was such a form of catharsis that I don't think I can ever watch it again and not cry. I was like, this movie completed a chapter of my life, and I didn't know I needed it. And I'm sure that millions of people feel the same.
That's kind of how I felt after Endgame, and like 10 years of this shit, and I'm like, damn, we put a cherry on that, and we're gonna keep going.
You felt like that with Endgame, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the Tom Holland Spider-Mans have always been like, okay, it's cute, it's not my Spider-Man. My Spider-Man was Andrew Garfield, and he didn't get a fair crack. Yes,
mine was Toby,
and that's fine because that's Alex. I didn't like Toby as Peter Parker. I thought he was just like a okay Peter Parker in terms of.
But Spider-Man 2 though.
And that's what I'm saying. Like that's where he took it and finally became Spider-Man. But that first impression of Spider-Man was not okay for me. But the first time I saw Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, I'm like, oh, I like this guy in terms of the actor and all that shit. So just humoring some of my biases. So in any regard, I don't have the emotional tie to the original Tobey Maguire, but that movie gives you the Tobey Maguire and it gives you the Andrew Garfield. And I don't think that movie could have been better, bro. Obviously you have the perfect nitpicks and shit, but honestly, when you nitpick a movie just for the fuck of it, pick what you got. Like this piece of shit that we got. We got 3 action scenes and a dope rider kick.
Well, that was what I was gonna say. Like we have something similar. Like Tysons are Tysons. Tysons are kind of usually whatever. But like we just had superhero Senki not too long ago, and I feel like that did everything this movie tried to do 10 times better. Like,
I think it ran out of steam. Yeah, like they did so many homage movies, and then by the time
and we talked about this when we had Jem and Hawk on. This kind of like burnout of seeing these riders constantly in these Tysons and anniversary movies, and like that's really what I felt in my heart as I had started on this thing, and I was like, well, let's do another one. Yeah, here we go. And I feel like the people making them are getting tired too, which is kind of the problem. It feels like
all they have been doing is fucking rehashing. Even with the current show they're working on, they're just rehashing old suits.
Yep.
So yeah, I imagine that the fatigue.
And then 3 years ago, not even, we had a full anniversary season where we did very similar things. So like Zeo, like we just had Zeo. Now we're doing another anniversary thing. I get it's the 50th, and that's fine. But like I said, this is like the third anniversary movie we've had in a year or so. Like it's a little much. And it really just takes away from the moments like in Endgame where, all the characters come back. It takes away seeing those characters when you see them every 6 months. It's like, okay, nope, they're cool. Like as much as I want to see Blade all the time, at all times, when you have these big moments, these big pop off, like Rintaro becomes Blade, it's cheapened when I just saw him in like Superhero Senki doing like nonsense 6 months ago. You know what I mean? Not even.
Right.
So it cheapens that kind of thing. And it's unfortunate because, the anniversary should be this huge moment, right? Like it should be this big celebration, and like the party's going on a little too long is what's going on here for me.
Right. Yeah. Like everybody has already, like the solo cups are all fucking tipped over and nobody's having a good time. Yeah, I get it. But at the same time, it's like if it comes another 5 years, because they weren't doing this more than once in a while before. So if this is because it's the big 50 and then we're good for at least another 5 years.
I mean, they did it almost yearly before that. Like Peacemaker just mentioned, like we had 5 years of the Spring Tyson films, like the, up until like Forza essentially. And then we had some more after that. Yeah. Like, Bujigaime, all that kind of stuff. So like it's exhausting almost seeing so many characters and like having basically shit films because they're trying to cram 90 people into one film,
And this is the result of that.
Yeah.
So for what it's worth, this movie's forgettable. Some dope stuff. Century is hopefully just gonna stay.
I would find a YouTube compilation on YouTube, or instead of actually watching this movie. That's what I would do.
I mean, just get your message.
If you don't even see it, you're not missing anything. So, I mean, it was like I said, it's cool to hang out with the Saber crew again. I'm always down to hang out with the Saber crew. I love me my Saber. I don't know I feel like that's a hot take nowadays, but I love me my Saber.
I don't think so. I think it's more just because of Tassel. No, honestly, I think it really is just that this movie was okay to have as a summer movie, but not as they promoted it, not anywhere remotely worthy of a 50th generational movie. Yeah. But
the third 50th anniversary movie.
in any regard, even if this wasn't even if this was like, hey, Century's like the future writer, like no.
Yeah. Can you imagine? I can't wait until I'm old and decrepit and have hit 90 for the 7th time. That I'm going to see on Reddit 2 Electric Boogaloo. Everyone complaining about, we're coming up on 2071. I can't wait for Century to be trademarked.
Yeah. No,
just like Shinobi. Remember when we got Shinobi trademarked for 2022?
Okay, so hey, I have a question.
Yeah,
it's been a while since we talked about new rider stuff, right?
Yeah, so we have some new rider stuff. Let's get into the news.
How the hell do you pronounce this name?
Gates. Geets? Goots?
Is it Getz?
Gutenhaben?
Getz?
Well, it's let me see, because we did have the trademark for the new Kamen Rider.
It's Giant Getter Robo, isn't it?
It's Giant Getter Robo, yep.
Okay, just making sure.
I'm gonna say Geets. Yeah.
Now, why?
I don't know.
You were perfectly queued up to actually give everybody the Shinobi that they wanted, and they still chose not to do it.
They chose not to. I'm hoping we at least get a like Amazon style series out of it, though. Like we can get a little like 10, even like 5 episode series. They already did a couple episodes. I think it was only like 3 or 4. But like just do more. That's all you have to do.
I don't see it happening.
I don't either, but you know, like I said, I can't wait for 2070 when everyone's like, I can't wait for Century to be trademarked.
all we have now is just a trademark, right? We don't even have any.
Nope, we don't have any images. We don't have anything.
Nothing. Nothing.
Nope, not really any kind of anything. There was some things going around that there might be a female main rider. We'll see. That's a thing every season. Sure. So
every year we go through this. Yep. But I have. Wait, what is Geats thematically?
I don't know. I don't think we have anything on it yet. You don't have any rumors?
No. What is the name?
Oh, Geats. Oh, I have no idea. Geats.
Oh, it's goth. Ooh.
Geats. What's it goth for?
Northern goth. The Visigoths, like the Vikings.
Yeah, actually, Peacemaker just said that. Speculation on a Viking theme.
Oh.
I'm down for Viking riders. You have my attention.
Kamen Rider Kratos? Excuse me?
No, fuck Kratos. He's Greek.
Now, technically, sure, it ain't about where you're from, it's where you're at, homie.
Listen. If I get a Jorgemorn goddamn form, I'm here for it.
Yo, I'm telling you, homie.
That's gonna be its final form. Jorgemunder.
You get it. Oh! Kamen Rider Jormungandr. That would be just. There's a giant.
Could you imagine the world serpent coming down on top of it to henshin?
I'm thinking of a weapon. What would the weapon be?
It would be like imagine the wizard infinity axe times like 30. You just see like the sword blade come off the planet and like slam down.
He shows up, he henshins, right? And he drops in front of you and he goes, Omae wa mou shindeiru. And then just the darkness starts to black out the sun. And then this axe head.
And then Kenshiro just comes down.
Just Kenshiro. Just
Kenshiro.
just Kenshiro. He just walks away.
Yeah. Omae wa mou shindeiru.
Perfect. I mean, a Norse. I don't know how to do a Norse.
Last time we saw something kind of similar to that was back in Gaim. You know, we had some
Sigurd, yeah.
Sigurd, yeah, it was Mongolian, but you know, it's kind of that same brutish warrior man sort of thing.
Vibe.
Yeah. So I'm excited. If it is Vikings, I'm totally down for it because them's my peoples. So, you know.
Viking.
Yeah. Other than that, we finally also, we might as well just talk about the other new Kamen Rider thing. We got a trailer for Kamen Rider Black Sun. And I, once again, you know, we talked about this the last couple trailers. No, I'm not going to play it on screen, unfortunately, because we got flagged a few times. That's why if you go to the YouTube, there's some episodes missing.
Sorry, guys.
So
sorry.
We get a cool little intro. It's a little teaser trailer. That's all it is. But we see some motion. We see Minami doing his thing. He's got his gloves on. We see the Titan. We see the Henshin. And we also see, here, Nobuhiko transforming into Shadow Moon. So.
This is gonna be so dark, bro. This is gonna be
so excited.
This is Amazon without any of the pretense of like we're just gonna go balls to the wall from the jump, guys.
Yep.
Like,
there is also new. I'm gonna pull them up. I can pull these up at least. There's new production photos of them like in their suits and or not in their suits, in there with their belts on. And the actors like in costume. See if I can find them. Looks pretty cool. The belts look really sick.
Yeah, we talked about these. These are so fucking. These redesigns.
Yeah.
Perfect. Shin design. I know everything is starting to go darker, and I don't want this to like relive the early 2000s where
I live in the early 2000s.
I know you do. I know, but I want the flare of color to stay. I want some flares of color. The edgelords shall return. God damn it! You've had.
Yes. So Peacemaker's mentioning that the worldwide release via Amazon Prime. I did see that as well. I think it was on the trailer or some kind of press release. I did see that as well. It's coming to Amazon Prime. So we
we're watching that. Yeah,
we watching that.
Oh wow, look at that.
So
Shadow Moon is
Shadow Moon, baby.
The Shadow Moon. It takes the original, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
You get your the assault hopper upgrade for 01 with the chest piece.
Yep.
But it's so Guyver. It looks like remember that thing? Remember that guy? What's the guy? The Unborn. Shion the Unborn.
Shion the
right?
Unborn. Yes, we
Shion
actually
the Unborn.
just played Bloody Roar Extreme this week on the channel. Yeah, we checked it out because they had a tournament for it, a combo breaker, so we decided to check it out.
Shit.
Yeah, Shion the Unborn.
That's what I'm getting from it.
Yes,
Shion the
big
Unborn
vibes, big vibes, especially Shadow Moon since he's got the silver going on. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, no, I got this. Because he used to kick my ass with this fucking tentacle special thing.
Yep, he got the...
Yeah, no, I'm good.
It's cool.
Digging that.
But yeah, so that is what we have so far. Yeah, just kind of speculation. We'll see. We will see. I think in the next 2 or 3 months or so, we'll probably start getting images, things like that. But yeah, stay tuned for that. I'm sure we'll watch it and do our usual chunk reviews as we've been doing. So, unless something comes out where they just like murdered a basement of small children at this point, because that's the next step.
This is the kind of... I usually don't like to watch trailers for anything I'm excited for, but I haven't seen anything overly come from the trailers yet where I could like be like, oh, this is going to be awful. Everything I've seen from the trailers has been like good, quality shot well, at least. Like, I don't know. I'm hoping.
I mean, it's Hideaki Anno. Like, I'll watch anything that dude pumps out. Like, if nothing else, it's going to be high quality. You know what I mean? Like,
that's kind of where
whether I need a psychology degree to understand the entire thing or not, he's gonna pump out high quality stuff regardless.
It's Anno. It's a 2 to 3 time.
Yeah, he's makes everything I love, so that's fine. But yeah, I mean, I'm down for that. Black Sun looks great. I'm down for Dark Kamen Rider. Let's go. Next up in the news, they did announce the artist for Ultraman Decker's theme song. We're looking at Screen is the band. It looks like 2 gentlemen. And Screen? Yeah, the opening is called Wake Up Decker. I don't think there's a copy of it yet. But they released...
Decker.
Yeah, and then the ending is called Kanata Toku.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a far away in the distance, and then Kanata afar. Weird. But yeah, Ultraman Decker's coming out soon. We're pulling up on that, so that should be interesting to see.
We'll give that one a go.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give it a shot. I'm just kind of like mindlessly watching Trigger at this point. It's on when I'm doing things. That's about it.
I think I'm all about the gimmick, the henshin device, the armored Digi-Egg thing is. Yeah. It's just going to be amusing for me to associate with.
And we have some new announcements for your boys, the Go-Kaigers. They announced 2 Kaiser X Go-Kaiger. Which is going to be a special. And to go with that, they also announced the new attachment piece that goes with the Memorial Edition of the Gokai Silver Phone. Yeah, so it plugs in, adds all the things after Go-Kaiger, essentially.
So they're not selling the piece, they're just selling the attachments.
They're selling... This goes specifically with the new Memorial Edition Gokai Cellular that came out. And
makes sense.
Guess what it's on?
Period Bandai.
P Bandai exclusive. Yeah. Because what the hell isn't nowadays?
No.
Yeah, so it looks like we're gonna get Jewel of the World, Ho Soldier, whatever it was, that Pat. Yeah, that's Lupin Pat, the silver and gold. The Ryu Soul Gold and the Kirame Silver are the Ranger keys that come with it, and then it looks like it has a whole bunch of... It adds 1 to 12 riders on the key. So,
yeah. I think I want the world. I did like the world more than I liked
the world, though. Is pretty cool. The premiere was pretty cool. I don't know how he pans out as like an interesting character, but his showing up and like rocking the 3 animals was pretty sick.
Yeah, that's kind of he is probably the highlight of the show overall, and that's his
fishing rod.
Oh yeah, but whatever.
But yeah, so that's a thing. Premium Bandai.
I mean, they want the money, so they can take the money.
Yeah, I learned about something new, that the original Hanna-Barbera Godzilla cartoon is on YouTube, the first 13 episodes. And for the first time since its original airing, season 2 is coming to YouTube as well. So I will definitely be checking that out, because I learned, I don't know, I think I told the story on the podcast. I learned recently, like a couple months ago, that my origin of Godzilla was from the Hanna-Barbera cartoon. So I think I owe that show a lot. It deserves a rewatch.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do that thing of justice, because
it's all on YouTube as of right now. The first 13 episodes.
Because I found this on the other I found the Exo Squad on YouTube.
Ooh, Exo Squad.
I found the old 90s Mortal Kombat cartoon on
but did you find Mortal Kombat Conquest?
Oh my God. No, but I remember watching that religiously. Holy crap.
That and WMAC Master. That was the one.
We have to do, bro. We have to do a corner on Masters.
We can do Masters. We can do it.
Okay.
Which I got to finish editing that, so that'll come out soon enough.
All right.
But more Shin news. Shin Ultraman is making its North American premiere at the Fantasia Film Festival. That'll be July 21st to the 24th, and that will be the North American premiere of that. Hopefully we get a like Fathom Events style, like they did with Shin Godzilla round of that, because I really want to see this movie. I'm hearing great things. It's obviously doing fantastic in the box office.
Why not just go for it, man? Just give it to the independent guys. We'll take care of it.
I don't know, but we'll see. Just make it happen, Captain. If you guys are going to Anime Expo, our friends Team Kamen Rider are actually having a panel. They have a Twitter thread right now, and the theme of it seems to be around Fudo PI. They have Stonebot Comics and Brandon Easton, Tokusatsu, and Crunchyroll are all going to be on the panel as well. Kind of focusing around Fudo PI, because that'll be on Crunchyroll.
To those guys, because man, I want that to do so well. I want that to do well.
So it's July 2nd is the panel at 403AB. If you're going, reply to that thread if you guys have any questions. We're big fans of Team Kamen Rider around here. They're cool dudes, and go support them if you can. That is going to be in Los Angeles, California. So all you West Coast folks,
I'll start walking. We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there one day. There is a new comic book based on kaiju that is in crowdfunding right now. It is called Kaiju Sunset. It's a graphic novel inspired by, kaiju things of future and past. Really? And it's by Jeffrey D. Wessel about giant monsters called Dai Kaiju and the environmentalist group seeking to save them with their giant robot. It is currently crowdfunded through Zoop. This book features main cover by Nori Miller and variant by Xander Cannon. Only 8 pages are currently finished and can be seen in the Zoop campaign page. The final book will contain 48 pages. The team hopes to ship in November 2022 if it reaches its $9,500 goal by June 30th. So,
all right,
looking at the art here, it's pretty sick. I'm kind of here for it. There's all kinds of rewards tiers from $10 to $90, and then there's like a tip jar option, things like that. You get all kinds of prints and things, and it looks great. I'm down for more kaiju. I actually just started reading Ultra Mega again. I got to finish up with that. Yeah, I'm only on the second book.
If you haven't checked out Kaiju number 8, you should, because that's another.
That's on the list too. I got to check that out. I know they just released the first or second volume, so I got to check that out too. That's on there. I got some catching up on the comics to finish. So.
That sounds dope, man. See, people doing moves like that. Those are the kind of moves that are going to make the difference on the little guys. Like, it's not even that what'd you say, 9,500? That's not even like such a vast number,
that's their main goal.
That's not irrational. You know what I mean?
Volume 3 just came out. Thank you, Mark. I'll get to it. I'll get to it when I get to it. So,
Kaiju number 8's great. Just saying.
It's on. I have the Shonen Jump app on my phone, so whenever they release a new one, every once in a while I like click in instead of just reading Super again, because that's going so many places that Dragon Ball can go. I can't
tell you how many corners I bump into because of this damn app.
Yeah. So, yeah. Super's great, guys. Super. I'm so excited for Super. Super's great. The Moral arc was so good. They also announced the DX Naoto braces, which are the 3 antagonists in Don Brothers, the spearman, the flashy sword boy, and the girl with the bow.
That's what they're called. I forgot.
Yes, okay. They have their little bracers they use to henshin. They did announce those for Premium Bandai.
Hey, man. Just gotta keep it set. Just gotta keep it standard, Just gotta keep that standard.
It's something. So you can get those 3. Their price point on these guys, I don't know what it is, but they do say lines when you press the little buttons and do their thing, and it's 6,050 yen. I think that's like $65, something like that.
Just about
60-ish, and it's scheduled for shipment in November 2022. You can get that from our friends at Tokollectibles.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of villains, they seem to be the kind of villains that are being supplanted by the other villain. So,
yep.
Yeah.
Sticking to the Sentai train, Kira Major's Mio Kudo was cast as Ruka Sarashina in the drama adaptation of Rent a Girlfriend. That's all I got for that one. So that's
I don't know.
Kira May Pink is in the stage adaptation of Rent a Girlfriend. There you go. Back to Don Brothers, though. The sixth Don Brother.
Yes.
So we have Raizo Ishikawa as Jiro Momotani, or Don Juragoku. I have not caught up since we looked at the show, so I am not up to date. I did see a little bit of a clip of him kind of just like coming into the show and doing something.
He's the reason why I wanted to take a look, because I saw the first thing I saw him was the figure, and the figure looked terrible.
Yeah.
And I think you said it the other time where a scan looks so awful, but then it translates better on the screen.
These these screenshots look pretty good. The suit looks pretty good. And I know this is the one where like the halberd will like fold down into like a battle axe kind of thing. I think he goes gold and silver. Is that what it is? He can like switch between the two, but he's got this like Guan Yu, Liu Bei thing going on.
It's this. You'll see when you check it out, but it's really like the difference between the two suits. Like the Six Ranger always has that flare. This flare seems so different compared to, because it's just, I don't know. I want to like it. It's growing on me just because I guess I like the color and the design, but I don't know if I'm gonna like.
Gold sells, so we're gonna get Gold Rangers for a while, I think. So,
seems to be the case, right?
Gold and silver, they sell. So, but no, this one looks pretty cool. I'm down to see where it goes. I know he gets like a dragon or something he can put the armor on for. I don't know if that's his avatar form or not.
It'll be the whole thing, the dragon and the Son Goku type thing.
Yeah. And then on to Ultraman to celebrate the 1 year of Connection Live, which is their like live streaming when they premiere things. We're getting an Ultraman Max special on June 17th, which is in 5 days. You guys can check that out if you're an Ultraman Max. I personally have not seen Ultraman Max. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of returning characters, and it looks like the main three for the most part are coming back. And also the director, pause. The director is Takashi Miike.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. Apparently, Takashi Miike directed the original Ultraman Max.
Miike. We're talking about the psychopath.
13 Assassins. We're talking, what's his face? The other one, the cutter guy, the Yakuza cutter guy.
Yeah, Ichi the Killer.
Ichi the Killer. There you go. Yep, that guy. The guy who's made like 300 million goddamn movies. Yeah. Yeah.
Huh. That's like. Never mind.
Yep. I want to watch it now.
I mean, all right. Yeah. Why would you have? That's like asking Gordon Ramsay to cook breakfast for you. Like, anything could happen.
It's a flex.
Anything could happen.
It's a flex. That's all it is.
You could have a lovely meal, or he'll fucking make you wish you were never born.
Yep. So that's what we got going with that. And that's pretty much everything. That is not everything. Please hold. There's one more thing that I wanted to talk about, which I sent you earlier in the week. There is a new toy line that was announced.
Oh yes, the current discussion at home as to what my retirement fund is going into. So yeah.
If you've hung around this channel at all or hang around in the community at all, you are familiar with the Complete Selection Modification belts. They are full-size belts made for more adult size to be replicas of the show. Usually have some kind of lines from the actors, things like that. Sometimes it's music, which causes licensing issues, why we don't get certain O's belts in the United States. That kind of thing. So they have announced the Complete Style Gigantic. This is a similar series that will be full-size weapons. And my brain, my dumb brain immediately went to the Genbu sword.
And I mean, for you it was that. For me it was the Kachidoki cannon. But we'll get there.
So these will be full size. This is a play off of, they did the full size Seiken swords, the Rekka, the not whatever those ones that they did last year sometime. The Chinese full size ones. This is apparently their new line of those. So
you're not going to be able to fit that shit through the door.
Good.
You're going to have to
Good.
I can't I can't say how stoked we got. We're like, are we fucking kidding? Finally? Yeah. Can I get this?
It was one of those things where I literally said to him, I was like, I thought I was out of the buying game.
No.
And then they pulled me back in.
It's because they heard you. They're like, oh.
They heard me. I know you guys watch this podcast and this channel. The Kuga Titan Sword might be one of them. That's... God damn it. God damn it.
Oh, man.
Mark, we could finally get our full-size King Rouser. I'm just saying.
Ooh, that's nice.
Like, that'd be a good... I mean, as much shit as you give Blade, that'd be a good one.
Listen, if you showed me that, I couldn't hide the smile.
We could finally get a full-size King Rouser.
Ooh. I'll give you the King. I'll forgive it if you end up with the King.
God damn it.
Just let me touch it.
No. Royal straight flush. What? What?
What else could you... I mean, it's literally the possibilities don't end. Like...
My big dumb brain also immediately goes to like the Zack Knuckles. These big like sock'em bopper things.
But the back market would just be like the Hulk hands that are just like chipped away.
Oh my god, there's so many great things we could get out of this. Like Liner stupid, but to have a full size Liner sword with like the rotating heads would be hilarious.
The Zanbot sword.
Ooh. That'd be a good one.
Ooh.
Dang. Yeah. I'd buy a breaker staff, to be honest. Meteor break. I'd buy a breaker staff with the top on it.
Okay. I mean,
I hate that form, but I would buy that.
You can forgive a weapon, you know what I mean? Just because you hate the form.
Yeah.
Like I don't really like Putotira form, but that Gabu
full size Gabu cannon would be pretty sick.
Ooh, I would rock that.
Dang. So many possibilities. So little time and money.
And no money. Yeah, I was about to say,
more money than anything. Because these are going to be a solid 300 easy. So, damn. This is... I got like actually excited when I saw this. I was like, no!
It's all a matter of what we're picking first, bro. Yeah. That's all it is.
I was pretty upset I didn't get a hold of one of the Seikens, honestly. Because, I mean, you guys, I just talked about it. Like, I genuinely like Saber. Hyojo Senki is genuinely a great form to me. And I love Nagare. And to have a full-size one would have been sick, but...
And it's possible. Now it will be
possible. Now it's possible. I mean, anything is possible if you believe. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for the news, I believe. Or at least the hot topics. There's probably a toy release in there or something. There's something about plushies, but whatever. They got some Don Brother plushies coming. If you guys are into
I don't like those plushies. Never mind. No, we're good.
Yeah, we're good.
Got my Chocobo back there.
Yeah. So, that is the big one, if you will. Yeah. Don't watch Beyond Generations.
Yeah. So let's wrap it up here. So Beyond Generations was a disappointing homage to the 50th generation. We're not going to recommend it, except go watch the keys on YouTube when those come out. Speaking of YouTube, you will be able to see a bunch of other stuff that we'll have coming up along the pipes. Some stuff working on. Carl's working on, myself is working on. I actually released the trailer for the show, the channel coming out, 6 Echoes. Catch that. Email me at 6echoes.se@gmail.com. I will read your creepypasta stories, and I will do them in a very, very respectable format. I promise I'm not going to shit on your stuff. Doubt it. Yeah. Some of these guys are fucking creepy. But anyway. Other than that, you can catch me here most Sundays whenever we do this, the Tokudon podcast. You'll see me sometimes on Carl's other channels too. Yeah.
If you want to follow me at Kaiju Carl, if you're watching live, you know where to find me, twitch.tv/Kaiju Carl. We're going hard in them fighting games some more, so stay tuned. This week we're going to check out Street Fighter 5. I'll probably talk about why it's not my favorite. But we're also going to talk Street Fighter 6 and all the stuff that we found in these match footages and things. Go real hard because I didn't want to waste a lot of Toku heads time with Street Fighter talk. So, we'll do some of that, and then we'll also going to dive into possibly Blast Blue, possibly, something else. I don't know what we're going to do yet. We did Tekken last week too. You would have been proud. We checked out the Polish karate president, so she's pretty sick. But if you want to follow more of that, twitch.tv/Kaiju Carl. We are there every Wednesday, Friday and Sunday, and I think actually this week is Mecha Monday too. So we might be on some Mecha shows or some Mecha. Probably gonna play Damon X again. But we'll figure it out.
When's Armored Core?
Yeah, no, right. We're trying to figure it out. Actually, we're trying to see if we can get that working so we can play it. But you know, in the meantime, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you. You can follow me on Twitter as well at Kaiju Carl and Kaiju Carl YouTube Stiff. Like Rob said, I got some stuff in the works, but you can check out the podcast. You can also check out my How to Get Into Fighting Games video I posted not too long ago. That thing's doing gangbusters, so I appreciate you guys supporting that and my nonsense for ranting for 7 minutes about how much I love fighting games. So appreciate you.
It's all worth it, man.
It's all worth it.
Just to cheese on that 2 seconds. Keep it up, bro. That's the kind of shit that we busted our ass for. Don't give up.
Yeah. So that was fun to make. There'll be more of that kind of stuff coming out. I may make a Toku video next. I don't know yet, but you goddamn foaming animals at the mouth keep pushing me to make these Toku videos. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, have a good weekend, guys. Have a good week if I don't see you. Hopefully I will.
See ya.
Deuces, yo.